Let's go.
This is a story about the game Nintendo wishes it could get rid of. No, not that one. Super
Power
Smash
World?
Bros. Melee, and how it's still thriving after
Yep.
over 2 decades despite Nintendo.
We dug
Yep.
deep to find the full history of its community.
2013 was one of Melee's best years.
Oh yeah, that's the year when I first started. When I basically joined the scene. I mean, I still have not joined the scene, but in 2013, I watched a documentary that got me into Smash. That got me into playing Melee competitively. Right? If you guys have been like a long time watcher of of my life, I'm just kidding. Basically, right? Like 2013, a documentary comes out. I watch it. After I watch it, I go to my room, open up the closet, and Super Smash Bros. Melee is in my GameCube. I take it out and I start practicing right away.
2020 was the year that doomed the competitive
Oh yeah,
Melee
COVID.
scene.
I even tried to win a local Melee tournament here in Toronto.
Actually, dude, you know what's funny? A couple days ago, I went to a local and I got second. Like after not playing for like I don't know, like a year and a half of not playing in tournaments.
What happened?
I'm pretty happy.
And we talked with some of Melee's top community members.
And trust me, they had no shortage of things to say about Nintendo.
I bet Nintendo hates us. Went to get
Moki?
milk in 2001 and just hasn't been back since.
I feel like every year you'll see Nintendo try to like kill Melee.
Wombo combo. Yeah, it's funny because I remember as a kid I used to watch. I watched the Wombo combo in like 2009 without even knowing about competitive Melee. It's kind of crazy. The pop-offs mango.
Super Smash Bros. Melee, released
Yep.
23 years ago. It is one of the
Yes, isn't that so crazy, dude? The fact that we are still playing Melee to this day, when it came out in 2001. Oh my god, I cannot believe it, dude.
most watched and celebrated fighting games of all time. There have been multiple other games in the Super Smash Bros. Family. 3.5 to be exact. Yet Melee has remained timeless. And originally,
Of course.
when I was making this video, it was about why the game was so amazing. But then
Of course it
realized
is.
23 years later.
I know. It's 23 years. 23 years of the game story, right? Like the best players in the world, and like the evolution of how people play now compared to back then. It's so crazy, dude. It's so crazy. The Ken combo is named the Ken combo for a reason, because Ken Huang invented it. Right? The hack stash is called the hack stash because hacks invented it. Isn't that fucking crazy, dude?
But it's not the game that matters, it's the community. A community that many people did not want to exist. A community that had to struggle and survive just to do the bare minimum that other gaming communities already had. A community that stepped up
Mango!
and created some of the biggest.
Oh, it's like I think it was the tournament where he lost the potential 3P that Hungrybox took away from him.
Most watched fighting game tournaments in the last few decades. A community
Look at
that's
that.
still growing.
That is not 2001. What are you talking about? That's 2007. Dude, am I just like a nerd for Melee?
Today. Again,
That's 2007. That's ROM.
Today, we're gonna take you through the rise, the fall, and the rise again of Super Smash Bros. Melee. But why is it brought together such a strong?
See, look, a lot of people don't know that, like, when you play Melee, when we play Melee, especially in tournaments, we play with these TVs, the old TVs. Yes, we do, and it's crazy, but it's so good. It feels so good. It feels so good to play on the TV that it was meant to be played on instead of monitors. You know what I mean?
Before we dive into that, what makes Melee so different?
Oh,
Hey,
I know
I'm Joe
why.
Sweatpants.
I'm Aruj Khalili. I think the game allows you to be really creative and
True.
lets you approach things in a different way
Yep.
than other fighting games or any modern games do.
Of course.
Spit it out really quickly, following like the success of Smash 64, and they kind of just nailed it. The art style, the characters, the
So good.
soundtrack. It's all
so
kind
good.
of like perfect, and they haven't.
It
been able
is.
to, like,
Well, I mean, okay, Melee is perfect, but at the same time, it's not perfect. Because look, dude, look, if you play Melee and you play with a controller, right, with a controller, your hands are going to be messed up, okay? I basically have, like arthritis, I think. I mean, I have hand pain. But it's gotten better throughout the years, but, you know, the pain's always going to be there. My hands are definitely sensitive. They are sensitive. Like, if I hit something on my hands, then, like, I feel the pain and it's, like, really, like, painful, you know? That's the bad part of it. So that's why people play with box controllers. You know, if you're not part of the scene, it's basically like an arcade stick. But, yeah, that's how it is now. And people complain about box controllers, including me, because I think it's cheating.
Invent the movement mechanics or any of the like stuff that people really love about Melee.
Super Smash Bros. Melee can be a very slow, complicated game, but the community, they've made it fast.
Oh, of course we did. It was not like the game was not meant to be played like this. It was not meant to be played like this. Look, watch the fox movement. Watch this right here. See that? This you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be able to do this. It was not meant to be played like this.
Inputs up to 1/60th of a second. It's no wonder some of the top players have suffered from severe wrist complications, like cubital tunnel syndrome, and others undergoing surgery. This
Oh, yeah,
is
hacks.
serious stuff.
Yeah, hacks.
And this was made by Nintendo. So Melee was always meant to be a party game. It has items, crazy stages, just a lot to make it more chaotic rather than competitive.
That's how it was meant to be played. It was supposed to be chaos, fun, like a party game, you know? But people made it where it's really competitive, and it's so good.
Make it competitive, we need a blanket rule set. 4 stocks, only certain legal stages, a time limit of 8 minutes, and no items. We're
No
testing
items.
each other's skill of playing the game, so any chaotic or random elements need to be removed as much as possible.
Of course.
Smash Melee has an electric feeling that draws in a lot of players and spectators. When the
It's
game
so good.
released back in 2001, some people already felt that energy. And so groups were formed, tournaments were built, and the Melee community started to build and build and build.
Yo, what's up, Teshuba? What's up, man? Oh, I love this. Classic. That's Beast 4. Oh yeah, this is crazy. This was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. When Amsa won, like Big House with Yoshi, I legitimately teared up because I was basically following his rise, right? Like from 2013 up until 2023, 10 years later, right? That's so crazy. And he plays a character that is not common at all, like Yoshi, right? He basically invented the way Yoshi's played. That's crazy. Like I teared up because the hardest.
But as they were building, none of them realized just how much they would have to overcome just to play Melee, or how much they would lose.
Yes, that happens a lot.
Melee's biggest tournaments of the year has been canceled.
Over 100 people in the Smash Bros. Competitive
Score
community
esports.
have been accused of sexual misconduct.
But enough
yeah.
foreshadowing. Let me show you for real.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Part 1.
So what are we doing here?
The setup.
Today we're gonna go to the local, which is a
Locals.
local Toronto Melee weekly.
That's how locals are, right? It's funny that people think that like tournaments are, you know, like at this big convention or things like that, but no, it's like in bars, like coffee shops, like game stores. Those are locals. But then there's regionals, and then there's nationals and internationals, and people call them like a super major, right? It's like the same thing as a national or international, whatever. But yeah, this is how they look like. It's crowded, smelly. People need a shower. Like you smell the grease in the air.
right over here, and I'm gonna try to kick some butt. I'm registered in the tournament. I'm gonna try to do pretty
Smash
well.
some bros.
Smash some bros.
Oh yeah, smash some bros.
Not like that. The way this tournament is set out is that you have 2 lives, if you will. So I have
Oh, yeah.
to go against one person in a set. If I lose that set, I get 1 more life, and if I lose that next set, I'm out. My goal
Yep.
is to
Winners bracket,
not
losers
go
bracket.
0 and 2 is to do something better than that. Maybe 1 and 2 or 2 and 2. You know.
2 wins, 2
Win it
losses.
all. Who knows?
I know I'm gonna be celebrating Stu, the winner of the tournament.
Yeah, like so. Okay, when it comes to melee tournaments, if okay, the pay is pretty trash. Like that's one thing you have to like get past that, right? If you're gonna play melee for the money, like there's pretty much no point in playing for the money unless you are a pro or if you're striving to be a pro. Like that's the only time when like money actually matters, right? And sometimes even big tournaments don't really pay that much either. Like I remember seeing this big tournament, like a national, right, or international. It was CEO, I think CEO Dreamland, and this guy, I think it was Hungrybox or someone, got 5th place, and they got $75. Like that is trash. Like if it was a different esport, maybe like I think maybe like Street Fighter or you know bigger esports like League of Legends, they get paid so much. Like I'm talking like thousands upon thousands just for 5th place. Like oh my god, that's crazy.
Tournament because he's bet his job on it.
Wait, what?
So what kind of prize money are we talking here? Is this
Nothing.
League of Legends,
Pennies. No.
Sport prize pool or
We wish.
No, McDonald's menu. No, definitely not. It's not about the money. Top.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's not about the money. Dude, let me tell you, okay? A couple days ago, I went to my first local in like a year, right? In like a year and a half of not playing. I got 2nd place, and guess how much I got? $25.
4 players get a very tiny amount.
I
There's
did.
50 plus people here, so the odds of me winning, taking any money is very low. But you know, it's never been about the money. It's just about the love of the game
And the
even
pride.
From the beginning, it's just been about the community. It's about smashing your bros. It's about smashing your bros in your mom's basement. Before the boys get to the tournament, let me show you how it all started.
Oh, there it is. I love the GameCube, dude.
In 2001, like any dedicated
Oh, there it is.
movie or startup in a movie,
Oh, yeah.
it started in a basement with a bunch of
Yeah.
really passionate.
Look at this. This is like 2000. Does my brother still play? I don't have a brother. I mean, I don't have a brother that plays. I have a cousin that plays, and he doesn't. I don't think so, actually. But look, this how. Oh my god, this is Mewtwo King. You guys don't know him? I mean, if you don't watch Melee, this is Mewtwo King. Oh my god. This is like when 2005? It's like 2005.
Players who wanted nothing more than to play the game. And from their competitive nature,
East Coast players.
local tournaments were created. From these small tournaments, the best of the best were found
Yeah,
and
there it
crowned.
is.
And these
The old school
competitors
legends.
took Melee to new heights. Top players would create amazing
MLG,
sets
dude.
to watch, which got more people into the game. Which
Rom?
meant tournaments needed to be bigger and better. But the current tournaments were organized by other players. It was just friends inviting other friends from different cities to play Melee.
My friends are like, oh, you're so good.
Oh,
You feel the
this
tournament. I was like,
is
"There's
Ken."
tournaments, these things?"
Some players would road trip across the country, barely earning enough money for the ride back, only if they had won. The tournaments were overcrowded, players would sleep over at other people's houses that they just met, get up, play Melee, and then road trip back home. All for
Isaiah.
the love of the game, and this energy was infectious.
Dude, oh my god, dude. There's something about Melee tournaments where like it's a hype set and like it's just so fun to watch. Everyone's going crazy and wild. It's like, oh, it's so sick, dude. I love that feeling.
So infectious, MLG, the
There it is.
esports circuit before esports.
Yep, this is esports before esports became a huge thing. That is so crazy. They had Halo tournaments. They had what else did they have? Like COD, right? Maybe COD. Yeah, COD. Yeah, COD for sure. Yes, I remember back in like the 2010s when COD Ghost came out. Right. I remember like me and my cousin and a friend of mine would. I remember like I think we started like in this MLG app thing where like we find a match or some shit and like we would get points or something. I don't know. It was this weird thing. It was just like this MLG type thing. I don't know.
The game from
We tried it for like a little bit and like we stopped, obviously.
2004 to 2006 in their pro circuit, putting a party game turned competitive by the community into a fully realized professional competition. Melee was being compared to Tekken, Halo, and Call of Duty as a serious competitive esport, and MLG loved the huge support that its community was giving them. No
2012
more
MLG
reasons.
BO2
This
PC.
was about Melee players lining up in droves to see the best players.
Is that
in
wait?
the
Is that you
world
play? You put it on
play
PC?
a professional stage. But even as
Oh, what's that?
Melee
What's
became
Prex?
more
Prex
recognized
Mini?
as a competitive game, players started realizing something else. They were building bonds that would last a lifetime.
So what kept me in Melee? I would say like just the people. Like I've met probably some of my best friends in the last like 10 years of playing. It's not even really about.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. It is pretty true. Like the people that you meet in the Melee community, they are pretty cool, right? And obviously, like, you know, everyone's gonna have their own cliques and you know, niche friend groups or whatever. But it was a really fun time. I'm not gonna lie. And like 2019 up until like 2022, like during those years, I used to go to this place and we called it the Trap House. We fucking called it the Trap House because it was like in this sketchy area and there was always like the smell of weed and like, you know, shit would always happen. And it was just like, we just called it the Trap House. We would have boxing matches inside there. We drink. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Prex was a clan. Oh, a clan? An MLG? Oh my god. I used to have my own clan too. Oh my god.
The game is
That's so funny. The clans.
When I tried to put my, you know, energy and stuff
I miss
and
those.
put it towards the
I
competitive
miss
part of
those
the
days.
game, it didn't feel the same as my successes did as an organizer.
Seeing new faces, you know, having people thank me at the end of every night, like it sort of makes up for lifting these giant TVs every time I run a bracket.
Coming from COVID, it was very nerve-wracking, the idea of going out. Melee being a main motivator for me to get out of the house and actually meet people. And I think nowadays I'm pretty friendly with almost everybody in the scene and just like going out to talk to whoever's new.
The memories and friends I make along the way are just, you know, it's timeless. It's a lot of my good friends that I've met in the scene that are going to be lifelong friends for me. I'm going to be obviously friends with my whole life, right?
From 2004 to 2006, Melee was becoming the hot new competitive game.
2004 to
and was continuing
2006.
to grow. In 2007, it was
Evo.
officially listed in Evo, and the only way you got into Evo was to have a game that was respected for its competitive nature and an insane amount of passion from its community. This was
Yep, Melee players, I'm telling you, Melee players have a huge passion for Melee. We have so much passion for this game because there's so much history. You can do so many things in this game, right? Like you literally show off your personality in this game. Like from playing a game, like you can show off like who you are in a way, right? If you're like cocky, like if you're defensive, offensive, like you know, like you see it in their gameplay. It's so good, dude. It's so good. And yeah, I think like Nintendo trying to shut down events for some reason, it also kind of it like unites us. It unites us to fight back.
Melee being recognized on a global setting, the way its community played, the unintended serious way. It was viable enough to be broadcasted worldwide.
To put it in perspective, imagine you and your friends invented dribbling in basketball. Melee wasn't ever intended to be as competitive and serious, but there was something in the movement, the speed, the energy. It got these players to start developing new techniques to play how they wanted to. Wave dashing, dash dancing, shield dropping, tech chasing, wave shining, L canceling. Melee was different.
So there are so many options to play in this game. There's so many options. That's what makes it so beautiful. You can literally do anything. You can do anything in this game. Like jump canceling, shine canceling, pivots, ledge dashes, hacks dashes, wave lands. There's so many different things. Power shielding. There's so many different things.
Now the world
V canceling.
is gonna see it. And then suddenly, great news from Nintendo in 2006. A new Super Smash
Uh-oh.
Bros. Game was coming out with the name Super
Smash Bros. Brawl. So guys, if you guys don't know about the history of Melee, in 2006, right, Nintendo announces Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, right? You nerd, shut up. Oh, fast paced, just exactly, it is. So, 2006, Nintendo announces Super Smash Bros. Brawl. People think that Melee is dead. They're gonna move on to a new game, Brawl. It comes out. Guess what happens? Brawl does not play at all like Melee, because the developers of Brawl purposely wanted to avoid making a new Melee on purpose. So then guess what happened? The Melee people who went to Brawl came back to Melee, and that's why Melee is still alive to this day.
Community was excited and divided. Where was this next game going to take the game competitively? Had Nintendo seen what the Melee community had been building for over the last 5 years? In March of 2008, the game was released in North America, and everyone had to play it.
I'm not gonna lie though, Brawl was pretty fun. Oh yeah. Okay. Also, a thing I want to say. Okay, 2007 and 2007, right? What I did was go to Mexico. I had to. I came back a year later, a year or two later. Brawl was out. I'm like, what is this game? I saw Wario. I saw Olimar. I saw, like, these characters that I did not know, like Toon Link. I saw Wolf. I saw Snake. I'm like, who are these characters? I'm like, this was so crazy. But yeah, I just had to say that. It was crazy. It was actually a really good game. It's a really good game casually, but competitively it's not.
And loved it.
Brawl is a spectacular achievement and an amazing, truly amazing multiplayer game.
You've got yourself all the ingredients for a smash hit.
It's a game that you'll likely be returning to again and again for a long time out.
No, it's not.
The Melee community bought the game. Something was off.
If you played a lot of Melee, what you're immediately going to notice, everything pretty much feels the same. Feels the same.
This was not the game Melee was. The random and chaotic parts of Smash Bros. That were sidelined for competitive Melee.
Look how slow it is
were back in
compared to
full
Melee.
swing with Brawl. Elements like tripping were added to the game, where your characters just have a random chance
Literally.
to trip while turning for no reason.
For no reason. It was designed.
Esam versus Mewtwo King, and they laugh because literally the game started and he tripped.
Imagine putting banana peels in an MMA fight.
Exactly.
The game is much slower. And
Look how
lighter
slow it
compared
is.
to Melee, which massively toned
Look at
down
Melee.
the speed that Smash Melee players were accustomed to. The new Smash Ball item gave everybody super attacks that were horribly unbalanced, almost impossible to deal with,
Yup.
and had very little to do with skill. Nintendo was clearly sending a message. Smash Bros. Was to be a party game, and that's it. And the once
Boo.
excited community realized that if they wanted the feeling of playing Melee, it could only be from Melee.
Exactly. There is no other game like Melee. There is no other game like Melee. So like often, like people who don't play Melee, right, or in the Smash community, they ask me, "Hey, so is there a reason why you don't play like the newer games?" And I'm like, "Dude, this game is not like the new games are not like Melee at all. They're not. Everything, every single Smash game has different mechanics. They all feel different. They all have different techniques, different mechanics. Like every Smash game is different. And honestly, I think it's really beautiful though, because every game is different. It's not the same rehashed thing, right? I mean, it is a fighting game or a platform fighter, but they're all different.
2, 3.
With the introduction of the new Smash Bros. Game in 2008, the goodwill the Melee community had built was transferred to Brawl, as both MLG and EVO dropped Melee from its official lineup in favor of Brawl. This was a sting to the community, but it only fueled the fire of Melee's rise.
MK mechanics
The
better than
community
today's,
built their
really?
own tournaments
Is that how it is?
Still going strong today. For the next several years, from 2008 to 2013, these tournaments saw more and more people joining, watching, and
So
becoming
Mortal
a part
Kombat,
of this
really?
evergreen
Mortal Kombat
community.
4, really?
Meanwhile, Smash Bros. Brawl was dropped by EVO officially.
I did
in
not know that.
2009, just 1 year after its big stage debut. Melee, however, was proving that it was a game that needed to be played.
No,
More
I'm
than
too
that, this was a community that
It was.
needed to exist. So
literally, it felt like it felt like we had to survive. I mean, I wasn't there, right? I wasn't there in 2008. I wasn't there, but like that's how it feels like. Especially when Nintendo tries to take down tournaments, it feels it's like we have to rise back up. You know, we have to fight back.
Next few years, top players were crowned, crowds were cheering and yelling, and the community knew that it was only a matter of time before the world would notice them again.
Evo.
Let's do this.
Oh, 2024. The local.
Yeah. It's time. I'm feeling
Friendlies and failure.
It's 7:19 right now, so you haven't even played your first match, but we see you practicing right now.
Yep, that's how it is.
I think he's winning.
How are you feeling? Pretty bad. Pretty bad. That's exactly what I was thinking. This is like.
It's a blaster stream from Matt OMG. No.
Did you win any games?
No, I guess I.
You're a band, dude.
Still gonna win.
Yeah. Well, because it's bracket too, so you might avoid that guy, right?
Well, not just that. I played bad on purpose.
You want them to feel sorry for you.
That's the
kind
point.
of
That's the whole point of the video.
Sorry.
Stop your friendlies!
You ready for this?
That's how it is, dude. All right, stop your friendlies. Everyone's quiet, or like a person's playing, like a person's still playing friendlies, and it's like they start announcing the match name or like the matches, the seating, you know.
Friendlies time. It's done. Time for the unfriendlies.
Here it is. This is where it gets real.
I'm feeling scared. We'll see how it goes.
That's how I felt when I came back. You gotta lock in, dude. You gotta lock in.
For the games themselves, it's best 2 out of 3. If Stu wins, he keeps his lives and proceeds higher in the tournament. If he loses one of his 2 lives. So let's hope he wins. And no spoilers.
Let's see if he wins. So I'm assuming he's Falco, right?
Should we debrief?
What happened? I got it's over. Oh, shit.
What?
Very bad. I basically did. That's Joe. Good luck.
He's focused.
Destroyed me. Went down last stock. I need to do some percentage on him. He killed himself at one point, which is great because it means I didn't get absolutely f***ed over, which is awesome. I'll take that. It was 2 games, fast, quick, 3 minutes each. In and out, 6 minutes.
But you have hope because there's another game.
There's another game. There's another round. We're still feeling it. It's not over until it's over.
He's in loser's bracket now.
That's 1 life down, but I'm still
He's
in
in
the
loser
tournament.
bracket.
And playing your first tournament is tough. Take a Rouge, for example.
Yeah, yep. My first tournament, dude. Guess what happened in my first tournament? So I was doing a little bit of research before I went to my first tournament. Right, I was actually nervous. I was practicing a lot the day before or night before. I was watching videos about these pro players or good players in my area, my region. I was looking up videos and I see this one guy. His name is Triple R, the best Kirby in the world and of all time, right? And he's from Minnesota. So I watched videos of him. And I try to study. Then the next day comes around, the tournament, right? I get there. I sign up. I'm really, really shy. I'm a 14-year-old. I'm really shy. All of a sudden, my match gets called. It's a pools match. So there are multiple people in this specific pool, of players, and I have to play against Triple R. And guess what happened? He beat my ass.
Oh boy.
It was crazy.
I went to.
I think I got 3 stocked or 4 stocked. I forgot.
Was Mixed Smaster 4, which was in February 2015, about 9
Damn.
years ago, which is crazy to think about. I lost to prominent streamer and commentator
Gimmer?
He 4-stocked me on stream. However, I still made it out of pools, which I'm pretty happy about.
Damn.
And
My first tournament. What happened was I actually made it out of pools. I actually wait. I did not make it out of pools. I did not. I think if I were to win one more match, I would have.
I got 8 stocks by one of the greatest players of all time, Armada.
Armada? I love Armada, dude.
15 seconds. So,
I love Armada.
Yeah, great tournament.
See, it's not just me. Just back to the video. And then the world.
So 2013
started
now.
Noticing. 2013 was one of Melee's best.
That's the year. That's the year I watched a documentary. That's the year, and that exploded. That exploded the community.
4 years after getting kicked from EVO, and a full 12 years after the game.
Yep, 12 years after the game was released. That's when like the rise of Melee happened.
EVO brought back Melee onto its official partnered competitive games after winning an open spot given to the community that donated and voted the most. And EVO, well, it was different now. Careers could be started here. Sponsors and esports
Mango
were looking for talent. Top Melee players could start to do Melee professionally.
Yes.
At the same time, the Smash Brothers documentary by Travis.
You know what's so
Melee
crazy, dude?
professionally.
Look,
At the
look.
same time,
All these people here, right? This is the Smash Bros. Documentary. These are like the pioneers of the game, right? These are like the pioneers of the game. These people walked so the new generation could run. Isn't that crazy, dude? Oh my god. They played for nickels and dimes. Oh my god. Ken, literally, this guy, Ken, Isaiah, they went to Japan in the 2000s and like 2004 or some shit, or 2005, to see like how good Japan was. Isn't that crazy? And all of a sudden, they meet this 14-year-old, and his name is Bomb Soldier, and he plays Falco, and he's beating Ken's ass. Like what?
time, the Smash Brothers documentary by Travis Samon Bouchon was released online and became a viral sensation.
Yep.
A full history of Melee's grassroots
There it
origins
is.
was delivered to anyone and everyone.
There it
And
is.
once again proved that Melee's energy was infectious.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. There are so many times where if it's like a Sunday evening, I'm here doing nothing, I literally just go back and watch the documentary. I watch it, dude. I watch it. It's that good.
As it brought with it a slew of new people anxious to play competitive Melee. The game
Yes.
was getting a resurgence, and top players
Yep.
were making huge waves. Melee
Yes.
tournaments were now seeing unprecedented
Oh my
entrance
god, yep.
and
Yep.
viewership.
Yep.
Melee
Yep.
was in a renaissance.
I
From it,
wait, hold up.
new tournaments were created.
Yeah, I think Apex 2015 was the first Melee tournament to have 1,000 entrants, right?
The community greatly benefited from
Like,
many
that was
tournament
crazy.
organizers and community members that created online ranking systems. Considering the scope of these fan-made tournaments and how well they ran, it was through these people that the Giants tournaments could function as well as they did. Outside of tournaments, dedicated fans and talented game designers and coders worked in the creation of Project M, a modification of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Project M redesigned the game to play more like Melee, adding in older characters, new moves,
I remember that.
stages, just a lot of stuff.
Project-
if you
dude.
want to know more about game,
Project M, like when it was a thing, when it first like came out, it was so fire. It was so fun. It was so fun. Project M was broken.
gamers building games within games, then you better check out our other Game Frame video. Link in the description below. This was the peak of the rise of Melee, and it looked like it couldn't be stopped. Except, something is missing in all this.
It's Nintendo, dude. Nintendo had to come in.
Or should I say, someone.
There they are.
What do you think Nintendo thinks of Melee and the whole community behind there?
Dude, I bet Nintendo hates us.
They've always been hating. They'll never really get to make your own rules as long as Nintendo's in the picture.
They want to be seen as kind of this like family-oriented, non-competitive, everyone can play, and
Yep.
we get in their way.
They don't like seek to help out our scene.
Oh.
They just kind of seek to promote whatever they can get out of it. And most of the time, if they can't sell a copy of a game, then they don't want it to exist. It's kind of been more on us to build it up.
How do I say this? One step forward, two steps back.
It's like Melee's like the outlier.
It's hard to tell because they haven't completely put their foot down and ended it, but they've come pretty damn close to doing it.
I mean, I can remember I think one tournament that Nintendo's officially sponsored, and everything was sanctioned, everything was great, and then unsurprisingly,
Uh-oh.
How does Nintendo being absentee make me feel? It's all I've ever known at this point. I think most of the community's pretty numb to it, honestly.
In the most recent
I agree.
Capcom Cup, an All-Stars tournament for Capcom's latest Street Fighter
Street
6,
Fighter.
Capcom promoted that over $2 million in prize money.
See that? Us Melee players, wish it was that much. We wish we got to play for 2 million. Like, what is that? We wish that happened. Oh, I swear, dude. I'm about to crash out.
will be given to these top-level players. The first place prize itself being $1 million of the total pot.
Wow.
Capcom acknowledges and builds its communities, yet Nintendo
Doesn't.
has only gone out of its way to disassociate and dismantle their own. In EVO 2013, one of the best years in the revitalization of Melee, Nintendo reached out to EVO itself to not just shut down live streaming of the game,
Like,
but
why?
to shut down any competitive playing of
Like, that's the thing. We don't understand why they do this. Why do they do this? Like, why? There's literally no reason. There's no reason why they should shut it down. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It made no this made no sense back then, and it still makes no sense now. Because at the end of the day, you are promoting Melee, which is their game, which also means people are gonna buy your products. Oh my god.
Smash Bros. Melee. Nintendo backed off after an outcry from the community, but the rift between Nintendo and the Melee community was only just beginning. Nintendo threatened many tournaments like EVO, The Big House, and smaller streamers for just playing Project M. For almost 20 years, Nintendo did not have a single official tournament for Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Nope.
And never donated financially to any prize pools.
Never.
Compared to other companies wishing that they had a community as passionate as the Melee one, it just sucks that Nintendo wasn't more involved. In 2022, however, Nintendo finally partnered with Panda Esports to create a licensed tournament tour, but more on that later.
Uh-oh. The last chance.
How do I look?
You look fantastic.
I feel a little bit like a fish out of water, but I think it's a beautiful thing, you know? I think I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna try and... This looks like fun. Last tournament I was in was an online chess tournament, and didn't do so well. Maybe this is my game. It's looking good. It's looking good for boy Stu. It's been pretty equally matched thus far. We'll just have to see what happens.
This is it, Stu's final chance. He's out of the tournament if he loses 2 out of the 3 games, so just relax, Stu. You got this. But remember,
you can do it.
The line.
You can do it. Wait. That sucks. I hate Sheik. I hate Sheik so much. Oh, dude. That sucks. You went 0-2?
What happened out there?
It was a close game. It was a very, very close game. So the first round, that guy was clearly like he was like next level stuff. The second guy, he was a lot more on my page. First game, I took it. It was awesome. Final stock. Second game, I got that close. First set was like, it was a wash.
So you faced LeBron.
So I faced LeBron, and this time I faced, the
That's what
guys,
happens.
Like, same age, like we're both learning about basketball.
Yeah.
Every single person goes through
after
this.
That second game, I just got in my head.
Yeah, it felt more even that game too. But
yeah, it was just like
you made a couple mistakes.
It was that because my brain
I hate Sheik players.
I was like, oh my god, am I gonna do? It's gonna be like the 1-2 story. It's gonna be such a good story, and then I lost, and I was like, shout out to that guy, Kevin. Good games.
Yeah. So now you're knocked out of the tournament.
0-2. I tried my best. So.
But you know what comes next. You made some pretty big promises.
Yeah. Cut the camera. Listen.
Yeah,
we don't
this
have
is
to
the. I mean, that was the agreement. So.
We got legal then.
Yeah.
We're taking you to court. Oh, you better believe Glassdoor is gonna hear about this. Oh, I mean, was this it for me? Was Team Game Frame really going home so soon? Or was there more to this story? Maybe there's one final part you won't want to miss. Back to the video.
Oh my god.
A certain company that
Disciple.
acknowledges but refuses to push us
I hope you're listening right now because I want you to hear this. I want you to hear the amount of people who support this league, the amount of people who want this to be a lifestyle for people.
HBox.
This is not just a video game. This is a lifestyle. All right?
It's not a game, but a lifestyle, dude. Low key, that is true. Oh my god, it low key is a lifestyle. It low key is, dude. It low key is. Oh my god.
Previous head of Nintendo America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, stated to Hungrybox's call-out that Nintendo wanted to keep out of the way of the Melee competitive community.
I remember this.
We want to do this much more at a grassroots level than others' visions around leagues and big upfront payments and things of that nature. And I have to get real, guys.
Dude, I remember when that happened with Reggie and Hungrybox. That was so good, actually. Oh, Mr. Reggie, you did it again, Reggie. Like, they have a rivalry.
You have one request before we go. Can I play you for glory? Oh, no. So, now your me is in the game, Reggie. My me is in the game. So, look,
Reggie.
I got to be honest with the community. I got to be honest, right?
He's so cool.
All of the Nintendo games. I suck at Smash.
Dude, I love Reggie.
But my opportunity is coming with Smash on 3DS.
Hashtag ad.
Now I'm gonna play it on the go. I'm gonna be able to come back up next time
and kick your ass. Reggie. He's so cool, dude. Oh, that's funny. Reggie, you did it again.
Thanks, Nintendo, for not stamping the community out entirely, just piece by piece, so it really stings.
From 2013 to 2018, the Melee community was changing, and no one could determine if it was in a good way or a bad way. Good things happen though, like Nintendo acknowledged the Melee community by creating official GameCube controller peripherals to play the newer Smash games. That's pretty cool. EVO 2016 saw one of Melee's biggest viewership counts ever, with over 215,000.
Damn, 215k viewers watching EVO. I remember this. It was low-key kind of a boring grand finals, but it was so sick seeing Melee being played like at the Mandalay Bay.
Biggest viewership counts ever, with over 215,000 concurrent viewers. So it looked like Melee was growing, despite Nintendo's looming presence. Since Nintendo was still shutting down Project M live streams and keeping a close eye on Melee tournaments. The bad news came throughout 2018 to 2020, such as longtime player and fan favorite
Armada,
Adam
he retired.
Announcing his retirement. Citing
No, Armada retired, dude. He was one of my favorite players to watch, dude. Like, he was so good. His Peach was so good.
Declining interest and motivation to play the game. Losing a top player always takes some of the energy and fun out of it.
That's what happened. See, that's what happened. It's so crazy. Like these. Okay, hold on. These were the 5 gods. Like these 5 players only won tournaments, like the big tournaments, right? Then slowly Armada disappeared. PPMD disappeared, M2K disappeared, and now it's only Hungrybox and Mango still playing to this day.
Top player.
They've been playing since 2007.
Always takes some
or like 2004.
Fun out of even the best tournaments. In EVO 2019, Melee was officially fun. In EVO 2019, Melee was officially removed from the lineup, and once again, Melee had been replaced by the new and shiny Smash Bros. Ultimate. No hate against Smash Ultimate. It really is a fantastic game, but
it actually is fun.
It
actually is fun.
Ultimate over Melee on the big screen.
They did, but I mean, Ultimate is actually fun. And for a period of time, the Melee players did play a little bit of Ultimate, and it was really interesting to see 2 communities coming together. But the closest thing that happened was in Project M. We saw Brawl players, Melee players entering together. Oh, dude, oh my god, dude. That time was so good. It was so good. We saw like so many different like crossovers, right? Crossovers of like 2 different scenes, right? The Brawl scene, the Melee scene. Mango versus, I don't know, like I guess Professor Pro, you know, at that time because he was a PM player, or like Mango versus I don't know. I'll just throw I'll just throw out a name like Rolex, you know, a Snake player. We saw Armada, you know, going from Peach playing in Melee, to like from him playing Melee Peach to him going to Project them playing as Pit. Like what? That was crazy.
Tough bill to swallow. Viewership for Melee's own tournaments were still hitting high numbers, but the shift had taken place. Melee was changing, and it needed to adapt to stay relevant. Could Melee continue to grow if top players and top tournaments decided to part ways? Was this the beginning of the fall of Melee? Oh.
It's now January 2020, a few months
COVID.
before everything changes for Smash Bros. And the first major tournament of the year, Genesis 7, is looking to have a giant upset with a new challenger taking the stage, Zayn. And after
He's a doc kid. Like he's like me. He watched a documentary and he rose the ranks. That's crazy.
Brutal matches against the world's best Melee players, Zayn is looking at grand finals against the #1 player in the world for the last 3 years, Hungrybox. It's best of 5 games, so
Zayn's actually really good.
3 wins
He's so good
to make history. And if he does it, it could be the next step the Melee community so desperately needs.
Zayn versus Hungrybox, grand finals of Genesis 7. What would it mean if Zayn wins this tournament from the winner's side, not dropping a set? Zayn's gonna be a problem. For 2020, the clean slate of Melee. Will it be new blood taking us into the next decade, or will Hungrybox continue his reign across the 2020 world line divide?
Yo, what's up, Nirvana? What's up, man? It's been a while since like maybe 5 years ago, right? That we saw each other. It's been a while. You doing good, dude?
Here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Let's go, Zayn coming from the crowd. Around the lines. Oh, but
Oh, yeah, it's the one he won, right?
The adrenaline pumping through these players' bodies must be insane. Going real high.
That's crazy.
And Zayn takes Genesis.
Yeah, dude, it's been so long.
Everyone knows that Zayn is a problem now.
This could be it. The evolution that Melee.
Is everything going well, dude?
With Zayn winning Genesis
Hope
7,
it is.
2020 looked to be a new, better
Ding, ding,
step
ding.
for Melee and its community.
If he plays like this, we're in a new world, Toad.
We're in a new world. If you didn't know, now you know.
It couldn't fall. Except in
Uh-oh.
July of 2020, multiple serious accusations hit the Smash Brothers.
Oh, you
community.
did? Hey, good
From
shit,
Smash
man.
Melee to Smash Ultimate.
I'm happy
More
for
than
you.
50 victims came forward during
Damn.
this time to expose prominent community members on
That was
extremely
crazy.
serious topics.
That was crazy. This was crazy. 50 sexual misconduct allegations. Like, that was crazy.
Topics such as SA and
Yep.
harassment involving minors. It shook the very core of the Smash Brothers community. It is also important to note that these allegations.
It was also so crazy because there was a player in my scene who also got exposed, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like the fact that like that like when I was 15, I want to say, or 16, he like, you know, like he basically came up to me and met me, right? And like, you know, we just talked like normal. And then several years later, turns out he was that was crazy, dude. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Bans from tournaments and many sponsors removing themselves from the community were the immediate responses, with tournament organizers and top members.
I guess he wanted to meet for a cupcake or
working
something.
together to
I'm just kidding.
address each accusation, all while working to keep the community together. This serious issue eventually gained the attention of Nintendo, and they released a statement. At Nintendo, we are deeply disturbed by the allegations raised against certain members of the competitive gaming community. They are absolutely impermissible. We want to make it clear that we condemn all acts of violence, harassment, and exploitation against anyone, and that we stand with the victims. An already strained relationship with Nintendo.
Yep.
It was hard for 2020 to get worse for the Smash Melee community.
And then it got worse. As the community scrambled,
It was actually really crazy seeing the prominent players and figures who were exposed as, you know, like predators and like just being weird. It was
to keep itself afloat,
It was a
an
weird
issue
time.
on a global scale popped up. COVID-19. See,
there it is.
Genesis 7, the tournament where top players and new blood like Zane were starting to really breathe
The COVID
life
era.
into the game.
Slippy, dude. Oh my God, Slippy changed everything too.
It was
Holy.
also the last in-person major tournament in 2020. Suddenly, Melee, more so than most other popular fighting games at the time, ran into a massive roadblock.
Yep.
This game came out in 2001,
Yep.
before online multiplayer fighting games really existed. The only way to play Smash Melee was in person.
Literally.
So how are players going to
Person.
play Melee during a worldwide pandemic? Emulators existed and there was slight online functionality, but nothing near the level for such a precise and input-heavy game as Melee. And thus, 2020 was the year that doomed the competitive Melee scene.
Yep.
Or maybe not.
Don't worry.
This literally changed Melee, dude. It changed everything. It changed everything. For the better, low-key.
Slippy's here.
What's
Slippy?
Slippy is a way to play Smash online.
Online.
Pretty close to play in person.
Yes.
It's an emulator with rollback netcode that allows us to play online with our friends or
Yes.
with random players.
Slippy was for the better and for the worse because one, for the better is we get to play new players, different styles. People get better, faster, quicker. We have like the low tier characters like Donkey Kong. Who else? I guess maybe like Yoshi players. They have more experience, right? And they get better. They advance the metagame. The metagame changes, but it's also for the worse because Smash Fests died. Back then, Smash Fests were a thing. People used to have LAN parties, right? Or Smash Bros parties where people can come and we just have Melee the entire day. Like we're just playing Melee and chilling. And that died. It was a social gathering. Like we drink, we play Melee, we fuck. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that happens. I mean, except for the fuck part. But but yeah, it killed off the social, the interaction with the other community members, and yeah, that was pretty much the death of it.
So, in your region in a seamless way.
Slippy has had a huge impact on the Melee community. There was
a
a
huge
big
impact.
revitalization once people
Another
were able
one.
to just
Yeah.
play in their homes. It was pretty necessary once COVID hit. Since then, we've had quote unquote Slippy kids.
Slippy
who started
kids.
After and who are better than we ever were. It's kept Melee alive, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a thing. I've been owned by Slippy kids. Yeah.
This was a revolutionary step for the Melee community, as suddenly it expanded the way players could play, train, or even host tournaments. This was the next step in the evolution of Melee.
Uh-oh.
Everybody was on board, except for one company.
Of course.
In November of 2020, Big House 10, a now decade-old tournament, received a cease and desist letter from Nintendo for using Slippy. Their reasoning? The upcoming Big House tournament announced plans to host an online tournament for Super Smash Bros. Melee. During their online event, Nintendo saw Slippy as piracy and promptly shut it down. There is basis in Nintendo shutting this down. They're not incorrect saying that the fundamental part of Slippy is piracy. It's the emulation of Melee. However, for an almost 20-year-old game at this point,
this game is not sold anywhere anymore. Like, it doesn't make any sense why Nintendo wants to keep shutting this thing down when literally it's not being sold anymore.
In a worldwide pandemic, in a community that Nintendo had barely even thought of, it just felt like Nintendo was punching down more than anything else. Super Smash Bros. Melee is not available to buy on any Nintendo eShop or online in any way. Nintendo
Really?
is not making
Oh, you're
any
20 now? Oh, you're
profit
21 now?
Selling Melee.
Hey.
They are doing nothing to build a community
Big 20,
that
dude.
just has the utmost respect and love for their game.
Oh, 21.
It just feels like a slap in the face. And so, the Nintendo community
You're an adult,
decided
man.
to make the free Melee hashtag.
Free
Get
Melee.
in, James. Oh my god. Put
Free
this
Melee.
in. Let him, James. Oh, okay, reset.
Hashtag Free Melee was a community effort to remove Nintendo's ever-present thumb over Melee. However, Nintendo was not having any of this. During an officially licensed Nintendo stream for the tournament of Splatoon.
Oh, I remember this. I remember this. The Splatoon people, they were doing like a lot of like Melee reference type shit, and like Nintendo shut it down too.
Goopy multiplayer game.
That's
Players
so
in that
funny.
tournament showed their solidarity for the Melee community. They changed their names to ensure free Melee.
Slippy and Melee Nation. That's what they did. That's so funny. Slippy and Melee Nation. They did that as their team names. And Nintendo got mad.
It was on stream, only to have Nintendo cancel the entire tournament at the last minute.
Wow.
For vague reasons, citing unexpected executional challenges, whatever that means.
Oh
Many people
my
in both the
God.
Melee and Splatoon communities didn't buy it. So they did what they
Obviously.
always do. They created a grassroots tournament called the Squid House, which resulted in the highest Western viewed Splatoon tournament.
That's
and a
so
prize pool
cool.
of over 25K
Dang.
and 3K to charity, which was bigger than Nintendo officially offered. But
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? That, oh my God, that people put more money into a tournament than Nintendo, who makes billions.
Nintendo never officially responded to the free Melee effort. Instead, the hashtag slowly faded away. Was this the bottom for the Melee community? Had Melee finally fallen after over 2 decades of dominance?
Then, out of seemingly nowhere, a new light for Melee fans appeared. Nintendo partnered with Panda, creating the
yes, I remember
first
this.
ever officially licensed Melee tournament, which also included Smash Ultimate, by the way. This was massive. Nintendo was finally acknowledging the Melee community by creating a tournament for both their newest Smash game, Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the 2001 game that they couldn't get rid of, Smash Bros. Melee. Partnering with Panda gave legitimacy to the news. Panda was fairly
Mango.
and had a long history of helping build tournaments for gamers. The Panda Cup would involve many of the grassroots tournaments working together, ending with a climactic Panda Cup finale for the winners of the grassroots tournaments to come together for the ultimate showdown.
That would have been so
The
fire.
Melee community already had something similar called the Smash World Tour.
Okay, yeah.
But Nintendo and Panda insisted the two could coexist in harmony, which meant more Melee for the community. Everyone was excited.
Yeah.
Melee was not over, and nothing
Isn't that
could go
crazy?
wrong. Well, nothing did go wrong until November, when the Smash World Tour was abruptly canceled by well, you get it. Nintendo.
The ever-growing rift between Nintendo and the Melee community
Yep.
came full
It keeps
force
happening.
when the Smash World Tour claimed that both Nintendo and the trusted Panda Esports company were the reasons behind the cancellation. Through many long back-and-forth statements, twit-longs, and vague apologies, the consensus came to many players who had contracts with Panda to immediately dissolve them, and most of the community to drop out of the Panda Cup. This led to the Panda Cup finale being indefinitely postponed, and their former CEO, Alan Bunny, resigning. What had been a shining hope for the Melee community, and perhaps mending the rift between the
Shaking
company
my
and
head.
community, well, it only left a larger, widening gap. Just a gaping hole.
A big gaping hole. That's correct. Epilogue.
So I'm out of the tournament. That means we can all go home. Video
I love
done.
Earthbound.
I tell you to subscribe or else I'll die. I will. Well, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, guys, sub.
See, there's this thing the local does for people like me who go 0-2 or 1-2 called the amateur bracket. Basically, they
amateur
pair off into
bracket.
2 teams,
Noob.
and those teams go head to head. You know what? I've been losing a lot, and I was determined to make the night at least somewhat of a success. And so I was the first person from my team to play against theirs. And I was gonna put everything into this. I needed to win. And then I sat down and I thought, F it. I should just have fun. Because everyone here was like me. They just wanted to have fun playing Melee. So with the support and hype of my team behind me, I was able to take one stock. And then another stock.
Oh,
and then another
shit.
stock, and I won my first game. Unfortunately, I was then knocked out in the next round. but man,
Unfortunately.
I went out swinging.
And that's when I realized something about Melee that I hadn't thought of. Let Green Screen Me explain.
Melee had fallen to its lowest point after the Panda Cup, and it never really seems like it could recover from this fall. And then myself, James, and Taylor went to a Toronto weekly local called the local.
The
and we
local?
realized it never really fell. It was still rising even after all the controversies and changes.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Melee was evergreen, and it took the tournament to really show us that. And for me personally, it was a feeling like no other to be back after so many years of playing Melee, screaming and cheering, laughing and crying, and just playing Melee with some of the coolest people I've had the privilege of meeting. Because as much as Nintendo continues to shut down and
Feels
limit
good,
the
man.
Smash Melee community, it can't limit the passion they have for this game and for their own people. So I encourage you, check out
Look
Slippery.
how long
Check out
we've
the
been playing this game,
amazing
dude.
Melee content creators out there. Check out your local
Is that
tournaments. and you'll find
Ludwig's?
Check out the amazing
Oh, yeah,
Melee
Awesome
content
Sauce.
creators out there.
Oh wait, no, Ludwig's? Oh yeah, Wustoons, Awesome Sauce.
Check out your local tournaments, and you'll find one of the best communities out there.
Where do I see Melee in the next 5 to 10 years? I
Uh-oh.
don't really care as long as, you know, some tournaments are around. I just kind of want to play with my friends.
I think as long as we still have functional CRTs and like our Wii's aren't, you know, rotted to the core, I think we'll be okay.
Low-key, I do have to say that I think playing on the box TVs or CRT TVs, I think it is pretty outdated. I think for 2025, I feel like it is outdated now, especially because we have Slippy, right? Or like we have new technology. Low-key, when I went to my last tournament, like thinking about it now, I'm like, yo, like it is outdated. Like it doesn't feel as modern as it was maybe even like a few years ago, right? I don't know, something about it. It just kind of felt like it needs to be modernized a little bit.
Behind the scenes, like Nintendo doesn't care about stuff like this.
Because the CRTs are gonna die eventually. They're not gonna exist anymore.
Like they're never gonna shut down a 50-person local, but these 50 people are having the night of their lives.
I hope it sticks around. Like I feel like the grassroots stuff like is definitely the heartbeat.
It is.
I think it's still going to be around because I'm always wrong when I think it's like, oh, it's going to dial down now.
No,
The cap
it's gonna
today
be-
at this
it's gonna be
tournament
alive.
here local. It's a random Tuesday at a bar, and 48 people.
Yep, that's how it is. Yep,
Yeah, a lot
sometimes
more
that's
people
what it
who
is.
wanted to register but couldn't.
Probably the same place it's at right now, to be honest. I've been playing for almost 10 years, and the numbers are basically the same for events.
I hope our numbers keep going up. I hope people continue to play the game.
In the next 5 or 10 years, I think it's a very pivotal time, kind of. It really depends. If no one learns how to actually portray what's going on and all these stories going on to like the general public who doesn't really know what's actually happening, then there's a chance it's kind of declining. But if so, I think there's so much happening that it's in a really good spot.
I think.
Yeah, I feel like Melee now is in a really good spot in my opinion, right? You know, we're seeing so much variety of characters, like making a foreign bracket. We're seeing Donkey Kong. Like, what the heck? I never thought that I'd see Donkey Kong and like getting close to top 8 or getting top 8 and winning like a national, right, against Salt, the Junebug. I've never thought that would happen. Yoshi, Amsa winning. Pikachu, Axe also winning. Captain Falcon, Wizard winning again. You know, I'm not saying like this year, but I'm saying, you know, in recent years, right? Like, that's so crazy. I never thought this would happen.
The future of Melee is very bright. I think people who started playing recently are more motivated than ever to contribute to the scene.
I'd like to think it's going to keep going, and yeah, it's kind of on the backs of people like y'all making documentaries, or people like going to locals, attending, supporting small stuff like that. It's cool that the big dogs get to like drive the storylines, but like
That's
at the end
true.
of the day, it's the thousands of weekly small tournaments that make it more than the
Rock,
you know, 8 big ones a year or what have you.
Incredible.
In the Melee community, many are game developers who took matters into their own
Oh,
hands
yeah.
and made their own platform fighters like Nickelodeon All-Stars, Rivals of Ether,
Yeah.
and many, many more.
This is because of Melee. Isn't that crazy? There was a Nickelodeon All-Star. Okay, like Nickelodeon made Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl to play like Melee. Isn't that crazy, dude? Like, they got inspiration from Melee, a Nickelodeon game where you could play a SpongeBob and do like how many dips? Like 5 dips, boom, boom, boom.
If you want to see more on gamers making games, check out our Game Frame episode, How Gamers Reinvented the Wheel and then got crushed by it. Or if you want to see why we think video game adaptations are the next MCU, both links are in the
Low-key, they might be.
below.
That was actually a pretty good video. I liked it. So make sure to like and sub. I thought it was a nice video.